Welcome to Wellness Tea Time with Dr. Rita. My name is Dr. Rita Sonko, a public health physician. I am the host of this show, and I aim to help you engage with different guests to understand more about mental health. Remember, Tori Weka, you're not alone. It's very important for us to break the stigma and break the silence about mental health. Welcome to Wellness Tea Time with Dr. Rita. I'm so excited to have Miss Rebecca Namakula from Ministry of Education and Sports. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you, Dr. Rita.
Yeah, it's really exciting to have you. I know we have met before, but it was fleeting moments, right?
I'm also humbled to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah. Thank you. Please tell our viewers about yourself, like who is Rebecca and what are you doing?
Rebecca Namakula is my name. I'm a married woman. I'm married to one man. A man, not a woman.
That's important.
It is important. I'm a mother of three. I'm a teacher by profession and a counselor by profession. I also do performing arts. But today I'm here as an official from the Ministry of Education and Sports. So I work with the Ministry of Education and Sports in the Department of Guidance and Counseling.
Amazing.
Yes,
amazing. Well done. That's amazing. So the reason I thought we should have this conversation is I've been to a few schools, and of course I've done a lot of research with young people in schools, and I know there is a vast number of issues. And so I thought there's no better podcast to have at this time, especially, as we, in October, we tend to talk a lot about mental health because of World Mental Health Day coming up. And I thought, having this conversation is important for us to highlight what are some of the issues. And I know in our earlier conversation over tea, wellness tea time, we have to have some tea, right?
Yeah.
So as we were, having these conversations, I thought, geez, where can I even begin to contain this conversation? But I think the first point that I want us to explore is this issue of very high pressure on children these days within the school environment, where there's obviously so much pressure resulting from the academics, performance. You have to perform very highly and to keep your position in the school. For the school to keep its position in the rankings. All sorts of pressures, But now I want to talk about just the children. That experience of this academic pressure. What is your experience? What are some of the fundamental issues leading to this problem?
Thank you, Dr. Rita. The truth is there is too much pressure in schools put on our children, the students. Why? Because the schools want to get grades. They want to be among the first schools in the news, the top schools, when the results are out, USE schools, USE is the results, UPE results, UCE results, that this school was number one. They got such and such grades, this number of first grades, this number of second grades. Actually, third grades they don't even mention.
They don't want to mention those.
And some schools have even reached an extent of classifying learners or creating groups, like the ones they are sure that they bring them first grades, they're registered with a school center. If they know that this person will not bring a first grade, they register such learners in other schools.
Oh, really?
Yes, it happens. Like that your for example, a child is studying in school A, but when time comes for them to sit for exams, they are registered in school B. Why? Because the school is not sure that they will bring a first grade.
Wow.
And only that is too much for the learner.
So they even disown you.
It's like they're disowning you. They stigmatize you that you are not bright enough to sit in their center. And of course, this one affects the mental health of the learners. It affects.
It's terrible. Absolutely.
Remember, you've been having a friend here. You're sitting in the same class. But time comes for exams. Your friend sits in this school where you've been studying, and for you are taken in another school.
They actually take you to another
school, to another center to sit from there, because they are not sure that you bring a first grade for them.
Sure. Talk of
You get
pressure.
pressure.
Oh my goodness.
Learners,
Yeah.
learners are kept in books for hours. Like I remember when we were still in primary, when I did my P7, by 5 we were out of school.
Exactly.
These days, when you're going back home at around 8, 9, for example, you'll find these primary kids coming back from school because they are all in the name of being candidates.
Oh dear.
And you wonder, what are they teaching them?
So this is now at night because
At night, I'm talking about the night.
Wow.
Because in the morning they have to reach school before 6. That means they must have woken up at around
at
4.
4 to get ready, have some breakfast, and then
And that means they're not having enough sleep.
not enough sleep. And then they get home at what time?
At around 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And it's even worse for these young children who are using school vans. Because they are picked from home from around 4:30 or 4
What?
in the morning. And those people, those learners, are those ones who are coming from far. Now they keep on picking these
Picking other children.
other
along
children.
the way. Wow.
Now they reach at school at around 8 or 7:30. Now in the evening, of course, they have to drop them. And this person who was picked first is the person to be dropped last. That means they reach home when they're very tired. And with homework from school. I'm serious.
But then, when you say that, so many thoughts are running in my mind, because I was also educated in this system, right?
Yeah.
And like you're saying, we used to be home at 4:35 and school was over.
And you play around.
Yeah, and we used to play.
You dodgeball, you skip the rope.
Yeah, we used to watch cartoons. So now these kids don't have any playtime whatsoever.
They don't have playtime.
Wow.
And we know that also play matters. Actually, there is an organization called Play Matters. Playing is key in the lives of our children.
Yeah.
Even for these second ones, they need to rest. But pressure is too much in schools. If you don't get these grades, you'll be cut off.
Sure.
We'll cut you off. You are not fit to sit in our center.
In our center. So the parents are under pressure, the child is under pressure.
Now, to make matters worse, the child has pressure in school and at home they have pressure. Why? Because mommy and daddy is striving to raise their fees. Yes? And what they keep on telling them, if you fail, so the child is revising under pressure. They're reading under pressure from school and at home. Because even the parents are not supportive in one or another. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
I'll give a scenario of a parent who is paid, let's say, 500 a month. 500,000.
500,000 a month.
And the fees for the child is 1.2 or 1.5. And remember, they do not have only one child.
They have three
to whatever. They have to feed them, they have to clothe them, they have to pay rent. So now these parents are also under pressure to meet the needs of their family. Yeah? And now the child has this pressure of reading to so that they satisfy the mom, the dad. And at school they also have pressure. If I don't perform well, they will cut me.
They will cut me at school. So it's double-sided. Nowhere to run.
And now, the end result will be what? Because, of course, the brains get tired. We are human beings. They resort to drugs to keep them alert. Because they know if I take something, I'll be able to read up to around 2 a.m. or 3. Then I rest for like 1 hour or 2. Then in the class tomorrow, not to doze, of course, I will take another drug.
Another dose of whatever to keep me awake.
But what is causing that? Too much pressure.
Too much pressure. So we are actually pushing our children into poor mental health and substance abuse and addiction.
In the name of good grades.
Wow.
In the name of good grades.
It is shocking. It is shocking.
But it is the reality. I've been able to interact with some of the learners. Why they are taking these drugs, why they abuse drugs. It's because I want to be awake. I want to be alert. When I take, I'm able to read for many hours.
Wow.
But in the long run, they become addicted.
They become addicted and we lose them.
We lose them.
Yeah.
True.
In the end. So, immediately in my mind is the question, how do we deal with this? Because I can imagine the parents' pressure, as we have been saying. The parents are also, they are really in schools that technically they cannot actually afford, but those are the schools they want to take their children to.
Yeah. Dr. Ita, what I can say, this is not a one-man thing, a one-man intervention.
Yeah.
It has to be multi-sectoral, if I can say.
Absolutely.
Because like the school, the parents, the community, of course, the ministry, all stakeholders have to come up. I'll give you an example. There was a time when the ministry said that there should be no holiday studies, that learners should be able to rest.
To rest during the holiday.
But you would find that the reinforcers of that first take their children for holidays somewhere, then they come.
They take their children somewhere else when they are also going to have...
then they come to these other schools, the simple schools, to apprehend these ones who are teaching. But they know that, why are you teaching? But they know that their children are also somewhere.
Also somewhere studying. Wow.
Because now, now it's like blaming someone that, why are you stealing things? And then you are not handling this person buying the things which are stolen.
Because obviously stolen goods, if you buy stolen goods, you're also the thief. Yeah.
So now with this thing, what we can do, actually what the ministry is doing, I'm so impressed that we came up with a new lower secondary curriculum.
Okay.
And I know with the time, the A-level curriculum will also be out.
Okay.
And with this curriculum, we do not emphasize grades. We do not emphasize grades. We are looking at what the learner is able to do, the skills they have acquired. How are they able to apply those skills? Yeah.
So it's more like a results-based management of the learning process.
Now we are running away from the knowledge-based curriculum only to the competence-based curriculum. Because with knowledge you have to read and then you cram and then you replicate what you have crammed, like
like a parrot.
Yeah, like a parrot. But now with this new curriculum, no learner will fail. Of course, you cannot fail 100% like it has been in the old curriculum. When this curriculum we implement it well, we'll be able to run away from these grades, and I'm sure the grades, the pressure will
listen. And then the schools will not compare themselves with others because we are not publishing grades.
We are not publishing grades.
Wow. Yeah.
Because now the intention of publishing, I got this, is to get more customers, because now we made the institution
school, and you want more kids to register.
You want actually not to get more customers, more clients. Those are because they look at them as clients. You want more clients, then you are advertising. It's all advertising. But then with a new curriculum, that will be.
Oh yeah, so when they obviously publish the grades, they are advertising themselves. Oh, this is, sure. So I'm thinking now of another set of pressures for these young people. I've been seeing in the papers, actually social media, not papers, social media, the proms, these proms and helicopters and stuff coming to prom. What is going on there with this?
Actually, me personally, I'm against those things. What is the essence of those things in the first place? Maybe I'm ancient. I don't know these things. But what value do they add?
What value do they add?
To our children, the students? What value do they add to the school? What value do they add to the community as a whole? What value do they add to the nation? If we ask that question, then it's okay, we go on with the proms. But if the answer is not clear, to me, I'm against proms. Not because, maybe people may say that it's because she doesn't have money to do that, but to me, they don't make any sense.
It is a culture we have adopted from some other place.
Now that is also another pressure.
Yeah.
Proms are a pressure to the learners themselves and the parents. Because it's like it's a must, you have to buy this beautiful dress for your girl, and the shoes and this clutch, the jewelry and all of that. Then now we've added a beautiful car. You have to take the child to the salon.
Yeah.
And at times they even reach an extent of saying that you should buy a gift to your partner of not less than a particular designated amount.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Now imagine.
Wow.
Rebecca is from this poor family. The mom will got a loan to take me to such a good school so that I can get good grades.
Yeah, yeah.
Now time comes for prom. My mother cannot even afford to buy me a dress of 100,000 or even 50,000 because they are those ones. What will happen to this girl?
Wow.
At times they end up running into the sugar daddies to get the money. They end up selling their bodies.
Yeah.
They end up getting into these risk behaviors so that they can get the money.
The money to be in the
to fit.
thing.
Yeah.
Wow. And
To
all
me-
for what, really?
And that is my question. For what?
All for
What do we want to show?
Yeah. What are we trying to achieve here?
Nothing.
Wow. So in essence, really, it's the schools that are promoting
Yeah,
this idea.
it is the
because,
schools.
Yeah.
We as the ministry, it is not written anywhere in our policies that schools should conduct proms. For us, we say co-curricular activities, which must be beneficial. Like it is co-curricular, they are co with this other curriculum, which are impacting the lives of these learners positively.
But this one is clearly very destructive, isn't
Actually, it is even destructive.
Yeah, yeah.
Learners keep on comparing themselves with others. This one is the most beautiful, this one is the most read, this one is what?
You want to see how many posts were made about you and how many comments, adding to the pressure which we already
Who
have.
wore the most expensive
The
suit?
most expensive suit.
Who wore the most expensive shoe?
Wow, wow.
What couple was the smartest?
Who was the biggest?
Actually, it's like, and actually through that, it's like we're promoting coupling in schools.
Yeah.
Because you find that if
Wow.
I won't mention the names of the school, but there was a time when we were seeing that this school is promoting homosexuality because some girls were dressed as males and others as females, and like those were a couple. And to me, actually, they're not making sense. That is wastage of time and resources. Yeah.
And putting the parents under immense pressure.
True.
And
Even
of
the
course the
learners
children
themselves.
under incredible stress because they have to show up and belong, have a sense of belonging, which is really, something that we have to look at.
Not helping them at all.
So when you think about then what we need to do around helping to prevent these things, what are the suggestions out there? Because clearly, like you're saying, they're not really adding value, but they're causing a lot of harm, mental health challenges and more. Right?
You know what? Privatization has its benefits, but it also has its negative effects. Yeah. Since we privatized the educational sector, many things have been coming up. Of course, the good things, but also the bad things.
The bad things.
Because now people will say this is one of our strategies to market our schools. Yeah. And you may find that some of the proprietors of these schools, for them it is okay. Chibakolera. Chibakolera. It is a way of marketing. It is a way of getting more reach, more visibility, and more clients. Abajobba wabibetaaga. You get?
Yeah.
So unless we come up with a policy to stop that,
the pressure is too
hard.
much.
It is too
I
much.
think we should at least contain it and don't allow this extravagant story going on. Yeah, the helicopter rides and all of that.
That is coming from you, Richard, don't you?
I mean, I've seen some on social media and I was quite shocked. I was like, wow, in our day, all you had was, we used to go for socials and you we
had this leavers party,
like
a simple party in school setting.
It was simple. It didn't have all this fancy, flamboyant
and
stuff.
we also had cases of learners losing their lives, going out from the school premises for parties and end up losing their lives either through accidents or their beaches, some of them drown. Those things happen. But why?
There is a lot of challenges, I think, that we are dealing with.
True.
So let's talk about teachers. I know we've spoken about learners and the pressures there, but clearly teachers are also under incredible pressure. They have to make sure they deliver those A's, the 4 A's and what you know, the grades. I can imagine that they can't wait to get to that new curriculum, which would do away with the grading of learners.
Actually, we rolled out that curriculum, and the first cohort to sit for UCE is this year. Actually, they're starting on Monday.
Oh, okay, okay.
And compared to the pressure they had with the old curriculum, at least now the pressure has lessened, because now for this new curriculum, it is even hard to copy for the learners.
Okay.
But with the old curriculum, because of too much pressure of getting grades, schools could even copy.
Myers.
Could copy, like they could. I don't know where they get the exams from, because it is not UNEP giving them the papers. But you know, somehow they could manage to get the papers. Why? Because they want to get grades. But also teachers are under pressure from their bosses. Our school has to perform. When you teach, and at times they even put incentives. The best subject done in the school, you will get this, the teacher.
Wow.
You will get this.
Talk of pressure now.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Like, it is good to motivate the teacher who has performed well. But don't let that be like a condition for, let's say, promotion. A condition for increasing the salary. Because what we need, the main aim of education is to see transformation within an individual. Yes? Because I may be this teacher who has not been able to bring 4 A's, but through my interaction with the learners and teaching them, you see that now, before the learners were not well behaved, but now with this teacher they are transforming. They are becoming good people in the community. Their morals are now improving. Let us also consider these other aspects, not only academics.
Not just academics.
But now the teachers are also under pressure, because they have to bring in grades. Now it is even worse in some of the schools where they are not even paid well. They are not paid well, but you have to deliver.
Wow.
A lot of stress.
A lot of stress.
Depression sets in. And some have even ended up also committing suicide. We have got cases where teachers have committed suicide because of too much pressure from school. I mean, from the workplace, and of course these other social issues surrounding social pressures at home.
And you can imagine then what that means for them in their workspace and their interaction with learners. A teacher who is going through that kind of situation, how do they then relate to the learners and deal with that?
Of course, they will transfer their stress to the learners. You know what we call displacement in psychology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too much pressure, they will also transfer their anger, their stress, their problems to the learners. And at times they even fail totally to teach. Because if you are too much, you are under pressure, you fail to deliver.
Absolutely.
You cannot deliver.
Because you can't, you just can't perform.
The teacher may be there in class but doing nothing. Yeah.
Sure. So what steps are being taken by ministry? And I know we have these 2 categories of schools, those that are privately owned and those that are government owned. I'm just even wondering, do you have any sort of steps you can take for the privately owned? But for the governmentally owned as well, like what is possible? Actually,
for us, though they are private schools, but we do not have private students.
Yes.
Because they are all children, they are learners. For us, we are not saying that these are private students. These are public students. They are all students. So when we come up with materials for us, I'll talk about my department specifically. In charge of mental health, when we are to move out and to provide the service, we go to both private and public. If we are to train teachers on how to handle their mental health to start with, because if their mental health is not okay, there is no way they can support the learners. We go in both private and public
no, that's
schools.
really good, actually.
And when now recently we are developing readers. Actually, they are ready, but we have not yet put them out to the learners. But they are yet to be published.
Okay.
We are not actually, they are labeled the government of Uganda. We are not putting it for private. The only word which we put there is not for sale.
Yeah.
Because when we are giving out materials, we give them for free. Yeah. And those readers are for primary and secondary, about mental health and drug and alcohol use. What learners need to know about mental health, what learners need to know about drug abuse and alcohol use. And we also have, we are in the process of developing guidelines for the teachers on how to handle mental health, their mental health, but also mental health for the learners. Actually, we are not saying teachers, but for this other, because the administrators,
these other, all the school staff.
All the school staff. So we are in the process of developing those guidelines with the help from UNICEF. Yeah, so
now that's fantastic.
And recently also we are supported by UNFPA to come up with an online module about mental health. So anyone who will be accessing the ministry website can get that information free of charge and see how they can improve their mental health and also protect their mental health because there are very many issues.
Clearly, there's a lot more support that is needed in that space as well. I'm just wondering about these social-emotional skills, which, you know, as we were discussing earlier as well, and talking about the need, the fundamental contribution of those skills for learners. How important are they from the curriculum perspective now to include those? Are they being integrated?
Actually, yes. In the new curriculum, life skills are integrated. These other skills are integrated in each and every subject.
Okay.
Like it's not like a topic of its own, but they are integrated in each and every subject. Yeah, they're integrated in the new curriculum. It's not all about academics. No, we are looking at also the spiritual, the moral, these hands-on skills. We are looking at all of them because we need this a whole round person, not a person with a big head, but with a tiny chest and small hands. Because the last curriculum, the previous curriculum had was too much on the head knowledge, but leaving out the affect part of it and leaving out the skills part of it. But with a new curriculum, we want balanced head,
balanced human being.
A balanced human being.
Very, very important. I really look forward to seeing how that pans out and hopefully changes the school culture, you know, like what we were talking about.
We are hopeful.
So as we close, I wanted to find out, you know, what strategies you think are very important for schools to take, you know, forward in terms of improving this school environment to become a more supportive environment for both the teachers, the learners, and everyone really, even parents, you know, to become a more supportive environment for their mental health.
Actually, mental health specifically. I will start with what we've done as the ministry, for example. We came up with what we call Circular 20. Okay. In this circular, we are telling the schools, the administration, to allocate 1% of their budget to mental health services.
Okay. 1% of the school budget should be
mental health services. We are also saying in this circular that there should be time allocated 1 hour weekly specifically for mental health.
Wow. That's fantastic.
We are saying in this circular that schools should put up someone, should present someone, should train someone to be in charge of providing mental health services in the school community. Not only for the learners, but also for the staff.
So is that where the 1% budget should be spent on that position?
It may be spent there, but you also need these other services. Of course, they will find a way of allocating their 1% if it is directed to that. And also we expect the administration to be supportive in one or another. To timetable. Actually, when we go out, when you have a chance to look at the tool we use when you go out in the field, our tool is saying, is it integrated in the school work plan?
Right.
Is mental health integrated there? Do we see it anywhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it timetabled? How are learners supported? How are the staff supported? What have you done? What do you intend to do? What are the challenges you face?
And are you finding that schools are able to come up with real tangible things, or are they needing some help
actually,
in that area?
COVID was a blessing in disguise, because before COVID, people were not so much concerned about mental health. But when COVID struck, now people realize the importance of mental health.
Right.
Now schools are picking it up. Slowly by slowly. We are not yet there, but we are sure with time we will get there.
At least you've created a space for these things to happen. And
at least we are trying to popularize mental health in schools and educational institutions. To show them that mental health is important, really that there is no health without mental health. Absolutely. There is no learning without mental health.
Absolutely. Yeah. A stressed learner cannot be a high performer.
No.
Never.
No.
Yeah, because how? Or a stressed teacher cannot be as well. Yeah. Wow, that is fantastic. I think that from what you've said, multi-sectoral approach, I think it's important for us to really look at how to support all these new goals and plans that you have, and that people come on board to actually offer.
Actually, I'm glad that you're working closely with Ministry of Health.
Yes.
And with the Ministry of Gender, because these learners are coming from the community.
Exactly.
And when these cases are out of hand, we have to send them to the health facilities. Exactly. So we are working hand in hand with them. Yeah.
Very important. So the parenting side, the health services side, the school space. True. It's really already a multi-sectoral kind of engagement that is needed. And I know the journey is long, right? but like they say, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step.
True.
Yeah. So you're well on your way, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors at the ministry.
And thank you for popularizing and creating awareness about mental health.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work well done.
Thank you so much. We're doing everything. Just to let people again remind them that Toliweka,
they are not alone.
Yeah, when you're in your struggle and facing difficulty, you're not alone.
Yeah.
So just in closing, a message to our viewers, that one person listening, maybe a teacher, maybe a learner, what would you say to them? Take care of your mental health. Because without it, you cannot do anything. You can't do anything. You can't. Indeed. Seek help when you're down. When you feel like you cannot do anything, you are frustrated, you're depressed, you have a lot of anxiety, please seek help. Seek help. Seek help. Ministry of Gender has a chat box. Yes, called the Buddy. You can call. You can call. And you'll be helped. There's actually quite a few resources available that you can, and I think what we'll do, we'll make sure we put all of them on our social media handles as well, so people can access them. Thank you so much. It's been fantastic. Welcome. I look forward to seeing all the developments, and when we come back again in a year's time, we should talk again and evaluate how are things. What is changing? Hopefully the prom culture is going to change a little bit for the better. And the stressors in school will lessen as well. Yeah. No, thank you so much, madam. I really appreciate it. I'm so humbled to be here. Thank you.